The alpha secret no one tells you. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever tried your best to win a woman over, and it still wasn't enough? You text her good morning, you compliment her, you take her out, you listen to her problems, you're always available, even when you're tired or busy. You give and give and give. Because deep down, you think that if you just prove you're a good man, she'll finally pick you. She'll finally see your worth. But what happens? She starts replying slower. She seems distracted. Her energy shifts. She doesn't look at you the same. And suddenly she's gone. It hurts, doesn't it? And you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Was I not enough? Should I have tried harder? But here's the thing. It's not that you weren't enough. It's not that you were too nice. It's that you were never meant to chase. Because chasing is the opposite of attraction. Now listen closely. This is where everything starts to change. The hard truth. No one tells men. Most men are taught the wrong things about women. They're told, make her feel special every day. Text her often, so she knows you care. Always show her how much she means to you. But here's the brutal truth. Women don't fall for men who try to prove their worth. They fall for men who already know their worth. They don't want to be the center of your life. They want to be part of a life that's already centered, stable, strong. Let me say that again. She doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to join your purpose. And this is the difference between a man who chases and a man who leads. The first one follows her. The second one follows his mission. And she follows him. Enter the Stoic Alpha mindset. So what is this Stoic Alpha mindset? Is it about being cold? Is it about being toxic or emotionless? Never. It's about detachment, calm, quiet power. The Stoic Alpha isn't angry. He isn't bitter. He doesn't need to prove anything. He simply knows who he is. He's on his path. He's focused. And that focus, that grounded presence, it's magnetic. Because women feel it when a man doesn't seek her approval. They feel it when he's already fulfilled without her. And in that space, where he's not chasing, she leans in. The mind shift. That changes everything. You see, you don't need to do more. You don't need to text her all day. You don't need to ask her how she feels every 5 minutes. You need to shift your energy. You need to stop orbiting around her and start orbiting around your purpose. Because that's what creates real attraction. That's what builds real desire. Not from a place of lack, but from a place of power. And brother, the best part? You don't need to become someone fake. You just need to become the man you were meant to be. Calm, confident, detached, purpose-driven, unshakable. That's the man she dreams about. That's the man she remembers when you're not around. That's the man who makes her invest emotionally. So if you're tired of chasing, if you're done being the one who always tries harder, if you want to be the man she chooses, not out of convenience, but out of pure desire, then it's time to begin. This journey starts now, and the first step is the alpha mindset. You ready to flip the switch? Why chasing kills attraction, and what to do instead. Let's break something that's been drilled into your mind. You've been told, if you like her, go after her. You've been told, if she pulls away, you should try harder. You've been told, don't give up, prove you're serious. But brother, that advice is destroying men. Let me tell you what chasing really does. It puts her on a pedestal. It makes you look like you have nothing better to do. It screams, I need you to like me, or I don't feel complete. Now think about that for a second. Would a man who truly knows his worth ever beg for validation? Would a man on a mission pause everything in his life just to prove himself? Number. But that's exactly what chasing is. It's emotional begging. It's saying, please see me, please choose me, please stay. And that energy, it repels women. It drains your power. It makes you feel small, like you're constantly walking on eggshells. What should you do instead? Here's the truth. A real alpha doesn't chase. He creates space, not out of manipulation, not to make her miss him, but because his life is already full. He's building something. He has discipline. He has purpose. He doesn't need constant interaction to feel alive. His energy says, I like you, but I don't need you to feel whole. And that is powerful. Because women don't want to carry your emotional load. They want to feel your grounded presence. They want to join your world, not become your entire world. The shift that happens when you stop chasing. Here's what happens when you step back and let go. She becomes curious. She starts wondering what you're doing. She feels the gap, and in that space, desire grows. But listen, this is important. You're not stepping back to get her reaction. You're stepping back because your peace comes first. You are not being rude. You are not being cold. You're being intentional. You're putting yourself, your goals, your time, your inner peace first. And in that silence, she feels your strength. She sees the contrast. Because most men are chasing. Most men are over-texting. Most men are proving. But you're building. You're calm. You're focused. You're different. Stop playing the game. You were never meant to play. You were never meant to be the emotional janitor in a woman's life. You weren't born to constantly entertain or impress. You were made to lead, to move with purpose, to create with confidence, to hold space, not beg to be in hers. You don't win by chasing. You win by growing. You don't attract her with gifts and approval seeking. You attract her with your grounded energy. Your new mantra. I don't chase. I attract through my presence. Say it again. Say it to yourself every morning. Let it sink into your bones. Because, brother, when you stop chasing, you don't lose power. You reclaim it. You stop being a fan, and you become the main character. That's when she sees you differently. That's when everyone does. Why absence isn't a game. It's a signal of strength. Let me tell you something real. Most men think that if they don't constantly show up, check in, or stay available, they'll lose the woman. They fear, what if she forgets me? What if she thinks I don't care? What if she finds someone else? These thoughts, they come from lack, from fear, from a mindset that says, I have to do something or I'll lose everything. But here's the hard truth. That mindset never leads to peace. It never leads to attraction. And it never leads to real connection. The power of strategic absence. Now let's talk Stoic power. You don't disappear to play games. You don't ignore to confuse her. You create space because your life is already filled with meaning. You're not withdrawing. You're living. And when you're busy becoming the man you're meant to be, that naturally leads to periods of absence. You're working, you're training, you're learning, you're building, you're evolving. And guess what happens when you do that? People start feeling your energy, even when you're not around. That's not manipulation. That's magnetism. Why space creates desire. Let me paint a picture for you. If you eat the same sweet food every single day, what happens? You get used to it. It loses its magic. But if you only have it once in a while, you savor it. You look forward to it. You crave it more. That's how attraction works. Too much presence, and you blend in. Too much giving, and it becomes noise. Too much validation, and it loses weight. But when you pause, when you disappear into your mission, when you don't need to be in constant contact, suddenly, she feels something rare, something powerful, something most men can't give her. The energy of a man who is complete without her, yet chooses to connect with her when it aligns. That, my brother, is rare, and rarity creates desire. The Stoic secret. Stillness speaks louder than action. The Stoics believed in measured response, not emotional reaction. They practiced stillness. They moved with purpose. They didn't chase people. They didn't over-explain. They didn't rush to fix or please. Why? Because they understood the value of emotional control, of presence, of knowing that sometimes silence is stronger than speech. So next time you feel the urge to chase, pause. Next time you feel tempted to fix, wait. Next time your ego says prove something, breathe. Let your absence speak for you. Let your focus reveal your values. Let your life tell your story. Remember this, brother. A weak man fears being forgotten. A strong man knows he can never be ignored. Because he's not just a man, he's a movement. He's a force. He's a presence that lingers even when he's not in the room. You want women to feel you? Then don't always be there. Let them notice your absence, and in that silence, they'll feel your strength louder than any words. Your life comes first. Why purpose attracts more than presence. Let's say it out loud. You were not born just to chase women. You weren't made to spend your days proving yourself to people who can't even see your value yet. You were made to build, to create, to become something unshakable. And here's the wild truth most guys never realize. Women don't want to be your entire world. They want to be part of a world that's already worth entering. The purpose-driven man is irresistible. There's something magnetic about a man who moves with purpose. Not just a goal, not just a dream, but a mission. A man who wakes up with direction. A man who values his time. A man who doesn't need a text reply to feel okay. Why? Because he knows who he is. And when you have purpose, when you're building something great, she notices you walk differently, you talk differently, you breathe differently. You're not trying to impress her. You're not performing for attention. You're simply being the man you were meant to be. And trust me, that energy, women feel it deeply. But what if she thinks I don't care? Let me hit you with a tough truth, King. If your whole life revolves around whether or not she texts you back, you're already giving away your power. Now I get it. You care. That's fine. But care from strength, not from fear. You don't chase. You invite. You don't convince. You express, then return to your mission. You don't wait around. You build while you wait. That kind of man, he's rare, he's focused, and he's dangerous, in the best way possible. Build the life that makes you proud. Ask yourself, do I wake up excited about what I'm doing? Am I proud of the man I'm becoming when no one is watching? Am I chasing people or chasing purpose? When your purpose becomes your focus, your energy shifts. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop worrying about timelines. You stop measuring your worth by someone else's attention. And you start living for something bigger than validation. That shift, it doesn't just attract women. It attracts respect. It builds inner peace. It gives you power most men never touch. Bono's Stoic principle, the inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics ever, spoke of the inner citadel. That's the part of you that no one can touch. No heartbreak, no rejection, no silence can shake it. You protect that part of you by putting your mission first. By knowing your life has meaning with or without anyone's approval. You become so rooted, so grounded, that nothing external controls your peace. And brother, that kind of man, that's the one women remember. Scarcity creates value. Why not always being available drives her crazy, in a good way. Let me ask you something. What happens when something is everywhere, all the time for everyone? That's right. It loses its magic. It becomes forgettable, common, replaceable. But what about something rare? Something hard to find? Something that not everyone can get? Now that's where the power is. Scarcity equals value. Here's the hard truth most men don't want to hear. If you're always available, always texting, always free, always giving, you're not showing loyalty. You're not showing love. You're showing you don't have much else going on. And deep down, she feels it. She knows She's the center of your attention. And while that might sound romantic in movies, in real life, it kills attraction. Not because she's ungrateful, not because she doesn't like you, but because your energy doesn't feel rare anymore. Absence is powerful when it's natural. I'm not talking about disappearing to play games. This isn't about pulling back just to make her chase you. No, King. This is about living your life with such depth and direction that your time is naturally limited. You're in the gym. You're building your business. You're reading. You're leveling up. You're spending time in solitude. You're pouring into your purpose. You're not always available because you're busy becoming undeniable. And guess what? That space you create, it gives her a chance to miss you, to wonder about you, to think about you. It gives her the space to feel that subtle ache of desire, which only grows stronger when you're not flooding her with attention. The brain craves what it can't fully have. Here's the psychology behind it. When something is rare, our brain assigns it more value. When it's just out of reach, it becomes more intriguing, more exciting, more wanted. Women, just like you, are wired to desire mystery, not certainty. If she always knows where you are, what you're thinking, and that she's your full-time focus, there's no tension, no spark. It becomes too easy. But when you're present with purpose, when you show up fully, then disappear back into your grind, that's when her thoughts start to spiral like, what's he doing right now? Why isn't he online? Why do I feel like I want to see him more? And just like that, your absence becomes attractive. Don't try to be rare. Become rare. Now don't fake this. Don't pretend to be busy just to get a reaction. That's weak energy. Instead, build a life so rich, so meaningful, so packed with passion and goals that you genuinely can't be on your phone 24/7. Let your life create the scarcity. Let your mission control your schedule. That's how you stay high value, without ever saying a word. Men who are always available might win attention for a little while. But men who are rare, who are grounded, busy, and driven, they win respect, desire, and long-term attraction, because women don't just want love. They want to feel like they're a part of something powerful, and that starts with you not giving your time to everyone freely. Because a king doesn't stand on every street corner. He stands in his castle, focused, respected, unshaken. Emotional mastery, the calm that captivates her heart. Let me tell you something powerful. It's not the loudest guy in the room who commands the most respect. It's not the one flexing his wealth, bragging, or chasing attention. It's the man who sits still, speaks less, and stays calm, even in the middle of chaos. That's the man everyone feels drawn to, especially women. Emotions are real, but they shouldn't control you. Listen, you're a human being. You'll feel emotions, anger, sadness, excitement, even fear. There's no shame in that. But the difference between a boy and a man is this. A boy reacts. a man responds. And a high-value man, a Stoic, doesn't let his emotions run wild. He controls his emotions not by suppressing them, but by understanding them. She's watching your energy more than your words. Here's the truth that most men miss. Women don't just listen to what you say. They feel how you say it. If you're always anxious, always complaining, always emotionally reactive, she feels unsafe. Not in a physical way, but in an emotional one. Because deep down, she's looking for one thing from a man: stability. She wants to feel that no matter what happens, you're unshaken, you're calm, you're in control of yourself. That's rare. That's magnetic. Calm is confidence in disguise. Think about it. When you see a man who's quiet, still, and at ease, you instantly wonder, what does he know? There's something mysterious and powerful about calm energy. It says, I'm not shaken by life. I've seen storms before. I know who I am. And that, my brother, is confidence. Not the fake kind built on loud voices and flashy clothes, but the real kind built on self-trust and inner peace. How to control your emotions, not kill them. Let's get practical. Here's what emotionally strong men do differently. 1. They pause before reacting. Something triggers them, and they breathe before responding. 2. They name the emotion. I feel frustrated right now. I feel disrespected. Naming it takes away its power. 3. They don't act from the emotion. They wait until they're calm, then they speak or decide. 4. They reflect. After the moment passes, they ask, why did I feel that? What does it say about me? What can I learn? That's emotional strength. That's Stoic discipline. And why does this attract women? Because when a man is calm, grounded, and in control of himself, she feels safe to be feminine around him. She can let go of control. She can relax. She knows that he won't fall apart if things go wrong. And in a world full of loud, reactive, emotionally unstable men, a man like you, who leads with peace and power, that's irresistible. Quick mental shift. Next time something triggers you, whether it's her pulling away, a stressful text, or just life getting chaotic, don't panic. Don't chase. Don't explode. Pause. Breathe. Lean back. Observe. You're a mountain, not a leaf in the wind. Self-worth and purpose. She wants to join your mission, not be your mission. Let's be real. A lot of men are walking around thinking the key to a woman's heart is giving her everything. Their time, their energy, their focus, their entire life. They drop their dreams. They shrink their goals. They rearrange their entire world just to fit her in it. Sounds romantic, right? Wrong. When you make her your everything, you lose yourself. You stop being the man she was first drawn to. That man had a life. That man had goals, vision, and direction. Now, you've made her your full-time job. And here's the hard truth, brother. She doesn't want to be the center of your universe. She wants to orbit around a man who already has a universe of his own. Women want a man with purpose, a man who's on a mission, a man who wakes up every day chasing something bigger than love. It could be anything. Building a business, creating art, growing spiritually, mastering your craft, leading your family, serving your community, becoming stronger, wiser, better. Whatever it is, your purpose is what gives you fire. It gives you confidence. It gives you that edge that women feel, but can't always explain. Don't make her the goal. Invite her along the journey. Here's the mindset shift. You are the main character in your life story. She's not the destination. She's a powerful, beautiful companion who joins you on the ride if she aligns with your path. You don't change your direction to keep her around. She has to want to keep up with your pace. That's the kind of man women chase. That's the kind of man who never begs for love, because his life is already full. Your self-worth comes from you, and let's be crystal clear. If you don't believe in yourself, no woman can fix that. You don't get self-worth from attention, praise, or affection. You build it internally, every single day. You build it when you keep promises to yourself, face fears instead of running, choose discipline over comfort, say no to things that drain you, stick to your path even when no one claps for you. That's how you earn your own respect. And when you respect yourself, others will follow, including her.
Reminder:
She's not looking for a savior. She's looking for a man who's already saving himself. She's not looking to complete you. She's looking to add to a man who's already complete. Be that man. The scarcity principle. Less of you, more desire. Let's imagine something simple. Think of your favorite food. Now imagine having it every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No break, no variety. What happens? At first it feels amazing. Then it gets boring. Eventually, you don't even want it anymore. Now here's the truth. That's how attraction works too. Too much access kills curiosity. When you're always available, always texting, always ready to meet her, and always saying yes, there's no mystery, no wonder, no pull. And what do we do with things that are always available? We take them for granted. It's human nature. Scarcity creates value. Why are diamonds valuable? Because they're rare. Why do people wait in line for limited edition shoes? Because they're hard to get. Now think about you. If you're everywhere, all the time, if you give unlimited attention, time, and energy, you're telling the world you're not rare. You're telling her, I have nothing more important than you. And that doesn't build attraction. That builds comfort, but not desire. You don't create scarcity by faking it. Here's the key. You don't pretend to be busy. You actually are busy with your life. You're in the gym, You're working on your business. You're reading, learning, building. You're investing time in your brothers, your family, your future. Your absence isn't a move. It's a natural result of your purpose-driven life. And when you do show up, she feels it. When a man who is rare chooses to give his attention, it means more. A 5-minute call from you means more than hours of texts from someone else. A weekend getaway feels like a gift because she knows you chose to spend your valuable time with her. That's what women crave. Not constant access, but intentional presence. Playing hard to get versus actually having a life. A quick warning, brother. Don't fall into the trap of playing hard to get. That's just another form of insecurity. The goal isn't to make her miss you. The goal is to live fully, so she naturally starts to notice when you're not there. She'll wonder, what's he doing? Why isn't he texting? Who's getting his time right now? That curiosity, that subtle chase, that's the beginning of emotional investment. Reminder: scarcity isn't about ignoring her. It's about prioritizing yourself. When your time becomes valuable, your presence becomes powerful. Let her feel your absence sometimes, so she can appreciate your presence more. Emotional mastery. The calm is the power. Let me ask you something deep. Have you ever lost control in front of a woman? You got angry? You begged? You got jealous? You acted out of fear, not power. We've all been there. But here's the truth. The man who cannot control his emotions is a slave. Not to the world, not to women, but to his own mind. And that's not alpha energy, that's chaos. Women feel energy before they hear words. You can say all the right things, have all the right lines, wear the right clothes, drive the right car. But if your energy screams, I need you to like me, she feels it. On the flip side, when your vibe says, I'm good either way, she feels that too, and it draws her in like a magnet. That energy, it comes from emotional mastery. Calm is confidence in disguise. You want to know what separates the men women want from the ones they forget? It's not six-pack abs. It's not money. It's not smooth talk. It's calm power. A calm man is dangerous. Why? Because he's unshakable. The world can be falling apart. She can test him, push him, pull back from him, and he stays grounded, not cold, not emotionless, just centered. Don't suppress, control. Now let's be clear. Stoicism is not about hiding emotions. It's about feeling them fully, but choosing how and when to respond. You're angry? Feel it, but you don't explode. You're sad? Feel it, but you don't collapse. You breathe, you observe, you respond, like a man who owns himself. And when a woman sees that, she knows you're safe. She knows you're stable. She knows she can trust your frame. Her storm seeks your stillness. In relationships, emotions go up and down. There are good days. There are confusing days. There are emotional storms. And when that storm comes, she doesn't need a man who panics. She needs a man who stays rooted. You don't match her chaos. You absorb it with presence. You don't yell back. You don't chase. You don't lose yourself. You stay calm. You stay powerful. You stay alpha. Your mind is your greatest weapon. You can't protect your energy if your mind is weak. So practice stillness. Meditate. Breathe before reacting. Walk away before exploding. Write your thoughts before speaking them. Learn to be the calm in the storm. Because when you are, she doesn't want to leave. She wants to lean in. Live like you're the prize, because you are, brother. Let's get one thing straight. You are the prize. Not just when you're in shape. Not just when you're winning. Not just when she finally sees your value. But right now, as you are, becoming more, growing daily, walking in quiet power. Let me explain what that really means. Alpha is a way of life, not a game to play. We're not here to fake confidence. We're not here to play tricks. We're not here to win her over by chasing or performing. That's not stoic. That's not alpha. That's exhausting. The alpha mindset says, I don't chase, I attract. What's meant for me flows into my life, and what isn't meant for me fades without force. You're not trying to be someone. You're just being you, fully, boldly, calmly. Detachment is not distance. It's direction. Living detached doesn't mean you're cold. It doesn't mean you don't love. It means you love without losing yourself. You don't grip. You don't beg. You don't fear someone walking away. Because your life, your mission, your purpose is too important to pause for emotional chaos. Purpose first, everything else aligns. The real alpha man, he doesn't wait for a woman to give him validation. He wakes up with direction. He walks with clarity. He leads his own path, not because it gets him women, but because it makes him whole. And guess what? That wholeness, that fire, that silent strength, it's magnetic. She feels it. She respects it. And deep down, she wants to be part of it. Not the whole story, but a chapter in your book. Final reminder, you are enough. Let this truth sink deep into your soul. You don't need to prove your worth. You only need to realize it. You don't need to chase love. You only need to embody it through purpose, peace, and presence. And you don't need to perform to be chosen. You only need to be true to yourself and consistent with your growth. That's the alpha mindset. That's the stoic way. That's the life that draws the right women to you and filters out the wrong ones without effort. If this message hit your soul, brother, drop a comment below. What was your biggest shift from this video? Subscribe if you're on a mission to become a calm, powerful, grounded man. And share this with a brother who needs to wake up and take back his strength. The journey is just beginning, but you're already walking like a man who knows who he is. I'm proud of you. Let's keep building. Stoic, solid, unshakable,